Okay, this video is going to help show you how to add a what we call a DNN Centric Form to a page and get initial setup. First of all, we have the page you want to be on. We want to go up to modules. We're going to add a new module. We're going to scroll over to the DNN Centric Form, which is here. And we'll click and just drag it onto the page, into the box we want it to go in. First thing we need to do is set up the header up here. So we want to simply go into settings, and settings, like in normal modules, I'm going to change this title to contact us. Save. Alright, now in here we've got a couple steps we can get there through this control panel, or the quick add on the beginning here. We want to first set up categories. Now on the categories, if we were to go the other way, I'm going to go back to the previous page. We can also get to the same thing here by manage categories. Well, first of all, you have to have at least one category in the form, so we're going to call this one just general. You may only need one. Most of the time that's all you need. Then we're going to go back. If we get in the back, we can go edit the form field files. If we go back to the home page, you can also get there from here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding fields. So we're going to put in a new control, and we're going to have it, we've only got one category. So new control going to be, make this a text box. We have these choices of different forms that we can put on the site. First one we're going to simply call name. It's going to be general, it's going to be active, it's going to be a single line instead of a multiple line. We can set up max length, or what the width is, percentage we want across the page, but we'll leave those blank. We can validate the text, so if you're doing a phone number, we can validate it that way. And then we want to make sure that we have a caption in here. So this caption is going to simply be name. And we can also put in a default value should you like. And if they commit an error on it, we can also leave a error text, like such as this field needs to be filled out if it's going to be required. And of course you want to make this required. We can say must fill in your name. Then we can save. Presto. Now if we were to go back, we're going to see that we have our first form field up here. Just simply type in the name and submit. Now we can continue to go into this, adding fields as we go. Let's go ahead and add another field, and in this case we're going to put in a new control, and we're going to call this, well, we're going to leave it there. I'm going to call this, let's say, email address. We're going to make this a validation type, so we're going to have an email ID, so it's going to check and make sure that it's a valid email address, as in something at, so it figures out that it is an email. So we put in there, email, boom, save. Now we go back, look at the form. You see you now have those fields into place. And hitting submit is still not going to do anything, because we have to go into the control panel for settings. And this is where we have what's called workflow. Under workflow, you see that things are going to be saved to the database. That's checked. You can view your saved forms and whatever people have done there, but we want to enable email, so we're going to manage the workflow. So in this case, we're going to add a new workflow. Okay, once this comes up, we're going to simply have this set up to where it's going to be selecting from the default, which means it's going to come from, let me put select from. You can have this set up, it's going to come from a custom or come from an email user in the field name. So if they filled out their email, it's going to come And that email, we're going to just leave it at default for now. So we're going to have the workflow name, send email, contact form, website. Now under here, this is automatically going to be filled in. You can leave that as is. What it's going to do is take all of the values from the form and submit it in here. And then we'll punch in an email. It's going to send the emails to, and you can do it by role, to administrators or by specific users or by an email address. So we're going to do by email address. We can put a CC or a BCC for copy, blind copy, but we're going to leave those blank for now. So boom, we'll hit save. And now we have a pattern flow in here of something that's going to be sending out to the administrator. And in the final step, we want to do a manage final step. And this is going to be what happens upon success. So we're going to have this your email and you can have JavaScript embed here. We won't worry about that, but advanced. Now you have a message that's going to pop up after you submit. You can edit that in any way that you want to. Hit save. And now we're good. Now we have what we would call a simple two-line form. Go back. Boom. Now we have a form that's going to be functional and working, only 2 lines. You can go back in and add fields as you like.